Kids went out and cut in the orchard, but my yard is still pretty good, so I'm gonna wait. I'll probably wait till after the next irrigation to cut. The backyard, the clover is low, so it just doesn't seem. I really just don't want to fire up the mower and use it if it's not that high. I could take the weed eater and hit the edges if I need to. So, not a lot of weed eating if I have to. So I'm just figuring, no sense in firing up the mower just to, make it look. It's ecologically, it's at a good place. So I ain't gonna screw with it, but I am gonna climb up on the roof and winterize the air conditioners. So we'll do that today. So there goes old Betsy. She's cute. And then yeah, I gotta just it was nice, Suzuki gets on me about breathing, just getting down and relaxing and breathing, and reminding your body that it needs to breathe, and that it's not constantly. There's not always constantly, and stuff, and you can hear it in people when they're used to being abused. My grandma used to do it, and they're constantly used to forms of abuse and training and abuse. And their breathing, it shows in their breathing. And you wonder about it. It's like, well, that's because you're used to it and you're trained and conditioned to accept it. So your breathing is more of a, and you're like, wow, that's horrible. Yeah, it is. It is, and it lasts an entire lifetime. It lasts till your hundreds, and especially with resilient people. You're like, wow, that's just horrible, man. But you guys got to understand when you sit there, like when I watch TV or watch and they just recommend stuff on YouTube. She's an assassin. It's everything you do. Everything you do has a psychological and a mental trickle down economics effect. Okay. When you make a movie about an assassin killing people in economic conflict, that has psychological effects on everybody. And the way that psychological effect affects people, you know what I'm saying? Okay. The moment you accept dysfunction and give in to dysfunction, and then say, here's how we have to deal with dysfunction, that has psychological, mental, and emotional effects on everybody. Okay. So, life is eternal, grace is infinite. Share, care, give in accordance to need, built to last. Forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. Do you see the cycle? Okay, that's why my life story is in the book of Revelation. All right. That's why my life is so important to the world. I love Senya and DC Suzuki, don't you? I'm glad Jesus gave him to me. Jesus gets real emotional. He's tired of all the crap. He said, here, talk with these two gentlemen. And besides, this is a global unity movement, Earl. And so when this shutdown of all this abuse, when you stop and eliminate all this abuse, it's going to be working with the people that they say are your enemy, that you love, to help save children from being enemies. So that's what we're going to do, and that's why Jesus gave me Sun Yat-sen and DT Suzuki, which I was, I was elated to have the relationships and the help, and they're just absolutely wonderful human beings, and I couldn't think of people to have as better, family members, friends, whatever, whenever. You couldn't ask for better people to be around and know than them. Okay. We've already done a lot of stuff about, quote, the enemy within, I've had a little hawk since I was little. Okay. It wasn't necessarily little. I was probably about 14 or 15. There wasn't really a baseline of people that when we were up on the Indian reservations. We were in Indian reservations down here, but I didn't know about Tishna until I read the book by James Quelica about Victoria when I was older and in high school. I didn't know about fun. I knew about Nache and Taza, but not as much about Taza, mostly about Nache. That's the one that Val liked the most. Val went and read Geronimo, but the one she had the biggest crutch on was Nache, was Cochise's younger son, the second son, okay? Taza was the oldest, and Taza died on a train trip back to, Val must have had a crush on Ralph Alviar. She had a crush on Jerry too. Yeah, it was hard. They're both really cute and really nice guys. Yeah, she must have had a crush on Ralph. Well, I had a crush on Ralph too if I was a girl. So, no, Ralph was quiet. He was tall and lean, and he was very quiet. And Ralph was an excellent artist. Okay, he was an amazing artist. Right. And just no, Ralph was a good guy. We haven't seen him for years. But I liked Ralph a lot. Linda dated both of them. Linda dated Ralph and Jerry. And we all liked Ralph. They're very different in personality. Jerry's very, Rock Johnson type personality. He's, hey, Jerry's that one. And Ralph is the quiet one. Ralph's very quiet. But he's shy, but very, but neither one. Jerry's an anti-bully and Ralph is too. But, they're different ways. They're good kids. Okay. Josie and Mr. Alviar just Mr. Alviar drank and it caused a lot of problems to the family, but they did a good job at trying to keep the kids good kids and keep them out of trouble and stuff. They did a good job. Frank's a good guy. Frank's a combination of Ralph and Jerry. And Andy's the entertainer. Da, 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 da. I love Andy Alviar, man. He's fun. Andy Alviar's got a wonderful personality. He's very funny. He's just a good guy. I always missed his calling. I think he should have been like the first Floofy. He should have been Andy Alviar. He's funny. Oh, Andy's hilarious. I guess the market wasn't ready for him then. He would have even been before. Would he have been around the same time as George Lopez and Carlos Mencia? But he's got that kind of gift. I'll call it talent. It is talent, but it's more of a gift, I think, than a talent to help people out. It is a talent and a gift. I guess we ought to call it both, But yeah, Andy has that. He's a lot of fun. Yeah, he's the life of the party. Yeah, because I tell a joke or two. Yeah, a lot of times when people have things because things get sad or hurtful, that they use humor to protect, mostly themselves. Right? And that's the way most people are. So, someone was telling me about that today. He goes, no, most of these people, they're only thinking about themselves. And everything revolves around them. And the only reason they'll get up to support you and what you're doing is if it seems like it's advantageous to them. If it seems like it's a greater threat to support you than deny you, they're going to deny you. It's like, oh, wow. Oh, okay. And that's the psychological warfare that these people do with technology to maintain economic conflict. So all the people that realize, okay, it's him. Okay, it's a bigger threat to acknowledge me and accept me than it is to just give in to their bullshit. Because they're afraid of dying. I'm not afraid of, no, gosh, no. No. Well, it's because it's not, oh, really? You want to come here and have them all have sex with your wife and pass it around on chat rooms at Fort Huachuca in Cochise County and everybody watch it but you? Yeah. Okay. You got such a bigger dick than my husband. Which that's not hard to do. You go to any Air Force base or any locker room, most of the guys have a bigger penis than me. I'm average. Okay. So all the guys say, hey, I went out, fuck him. I've got a bigger dick. Okay, he's got a bigger dick than me. Yeah, lots of guys have bigger dicks than me. All right. But did you get up to save the children from being systematically raped by narcissism? No. Well, then you go fuck. Okay. You're the best fucker. Hey, here's your trophy. Here, you and Orenthal James Simpson. Run, Joey, run. You know what I mean? You want to become president or pope? Or both? Come on. You can't feel sorry for these people. You can have empathy for them, but don't feel sorry for them. There's a difference between empathy and feeling sorry for people. Okay. Don't feel sorry for me. You're not capable of having empathy for me. Because in order to have empathy for someone, you have to be a good person and understand they're in a bad situation. But you're not a good person. I'm in a bad situation. You're just feeling sorry for yourself because you're selfish. Do you love Sun Yat-sen? This guy's brilliant. He's a physician. He's a physician. Okay. What's healthy? Okay? You look at a situation and you see what's healthy. Then you explain what's healthy. And then when it's not healthy, you don't do that, right? That's what we started, this whole conversation started out as. Okay. This is a Tuesday conference, Tuesday afternoon. It's not afternoon yet. We're not afternoon in New Mexico yet. It's 11:17. But this is a conversation with Sun Yat-sen. He's been helping me here a lot lately. DC Suzuki's just kind of, I'm good. He's the type of person that can sit in a room and listen in meditation and not say a thing for 6 months to 20 years. He's that type of person. He's wonderful. He's like Rumi. Yeah, and Rumi's wonderful too. Yeah, and so you just get that. They just sit there, and I remember the first time I ever had a conversation. Me and Rumi never talked much, but all he ever told me is, "You are such an exquisite listener, and the way you can do it in this hell, all this noise." Go, go, go first. Watch them go, go, go. Da-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. The Walton's master to suicide is painless. It's really hard, and then you're constantly bombarded with Wi-Fi, even in your sleep. So being able to actually listen intelligently with compassion and faithful love is a very difficult interaction, I guess. How do we say this, right? How do you verbalize it? And so, but yeah, we are dealing with really, 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 really sick people in the scientific community, and their brain chemical symbiotes to the propaganda community, the aggressive, violent community, the military community, yada 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 yada. And you assimilate to the group because you think you're having fun. So you think you're having fun. What song is that? I know what's done before it's done. Yeah, I like that one. You keep trying to make a fool of me. Anybody else like the Delphonics? Okay. Trying to make a fool of me. Yeah, that's a good one. They know all my songs. Saladin's like, does this guy ever stop listening to music? Well, yes, I do. Doesn't seem like there's always noise. It drove him nuts. He's like, he tried to talk to the guy in the future that's from the book of Revelation. It's like, there's all this noise. And yeah, you have to just sit there and go, oh my gosh. Yeah, and how brutal it is, and how vicious it is, and how selfish it is, and how abusive it is. It gets worse and worse and worse. And that was real depressing for Taza. That's how Taza died. When he went on the train back to Washington, D.C., and came back, he got so depressed because of all the abuse that was still coming that it killed him. Okay. It literally physically killed the man because he was so depressed. The train ride to Florida with Tishna, it's just depression. And you listen and you feel because you love and you have empathy and, the quilica, and let the people know you care, And you got to understand that not all the people are inherently good. There are a lot of people that were Apache were very bad people. A lot of people that were Hebrew that were very bad people. Okay, Caiaphas, Herod, they were bad people. They used their position to abuse and manipulate women, and Herod tried to kill a baby to maintain his authority and his greatness and being the gracious good shepherd, which was false. Like Saul, and there's bad people involved in Jesus's tribe. It's all through the stories. They're God's chosen people. That's bullshit. Okay, just understand there are good people and there are bad people. And bad people, the reason why some people seem so good is because other people are so bad that the good people have to be extraordinarily good, exquisite listeners to help us live good lives eternally. You understand? See why Rumi calls me, he's a good guy. I like him too. It's really cool. Yeah, I think so too. It's fun. Okay, it's fun to have good people around to help you for your prayers. You can be a good person too. Okay, so, I love you guys. We'll talk later. Okay, I think I'm going to go work on the air conditioners though. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Okay.